Question number 76 reads, which of the following statements can be inferred from the passage? Now, Saint Augustine was filled with remorse at the silence of the figure of the lectern. No, it was horror rather than remorse, as has been mentioned in the passage. Silence can be as explosive as quiet. That's what option B says. Again, we cannot take this as the answer, or this cannot be inferred from the passage, since yes, silence being explosive has been mentioned, but again in a different context, and there is no such thing as explosiveness of quiet which is mentioned in the passage, so we cannot compare the two. Option C is the answer to question number 76. It says that silence can be seen as a corollary of absolute space, unlike quiet. If I were to take you back to paragraph number 2 over here, see, it says here that silence is the sound of space. I could mark this for you. It says that silence is the sound of space, while quiet is something different. It is always the sound of a place. That is what the author does. He makes a differentiation between silence and quiet. He also says that silence, unlike quiet, is a corollary of absolute space. That is exactly what we are looking for, is the answer here in question number 76. It says silence can be seen as a corollary of absolute space, unlike quiet. How do we negate D? It says intellectual people are insensitive to noise. No, it's rather the other way around that it speaks in the passage. This part over here, it says that there are many people who are not sensitive to noise, but then they are exactly the same kind of people who are also not sensitive to arguments, thought, poetry, or to any kind of intellectual influence. So it is people who are not intellectual who are insensitive or not sensitive to sound, noise, and that is what he says here in the passage, and that's how we can negate option D, which says that intellectual people are insensitive to noise. We come up with option C as the answer to question number 76. I hope you did not choke on question number 77. The answer to question 77 was option D. There should be a change there, since that's the incorrect or inappropriate usage of the word choke, which the question wanted you to find out. Now it says, remembering the disaster, I choked and knew that I couldn't go on speaking. The correct phrase here needs to be that he choked up. It should not just be choked, it should be choked up here, and knew that I couldn't go on speaking. To choke up means to feel like crying, to feel that you're about to cry or sob. That is exactly what the phrase has to be here. In A, to choke back, to choke the unpleasant words back, that's what it says there. It means to fight hard to keep something from coming out of your mouth. Let's say bad words perhaps, or sobs or vomit, it might be. To choke off something, as it says here in B, means to choke off. It reads here, it was ridiculous on the part of the opposition to choke off the speaker before he could finish. To choke off means to put an end to a debate or a discussion. The speaker was speaking, they choked him off, they stopped him from speaking or finishing, right? And in option C, it says you should have seen the horror on the manager's face when the restaurant patron began to choke on a fishbone. Obviously, choke here means that something is stuck in your throat and you are beginning to gag. You have something stuck in your throat, and that is what why we come up with option D as the answer to question number 77. Question number 78 again was a question based on incorrect or inappropriate usage of the word which was given to you, the word here being read. Now A says, the young manager has learned to read between the lines of corporate annual reports to discern areas of fiscal weakness. To read between the lines is absolutely correct. To read between the lines means that you are inferring or understanding the subtleties, the finer points of a text or a situation. B says, often our parents read us a lecture because we have neglected our course. To read someone a lecture is again correct usage of the word. It means to scold somebody. Your parents often scold you for neglecting what they have told you to do. C is the answer here for this question. It has the incorrect usage in that it needs to be read up on. You better read up George Washington. You can't read up George Washington. You have to read up on George Washington, which means the phrase read up on means to find out or read some information about something or someone. George Washington in the question here. And then D again is correct. Since it says read my lips, you're not having any more ice cream. To read someone's lips means to tell someone to listen carefully to what you're saying. To if you say that read my lips, if you tell somebody to read your lips, you're asking them to listen carefully to what you are saying, and that is why the correct option here is C for question number 78.